Hi, this is Pentecost Sunday, and in the Christian church, we recognize it as the day when the disciples were locked in a room because they were afraid. And somehow, I don't know how he does it, Jesus enters that room and says, "Peace." And there's a sense that folks are calm and centered and anchored in that peace. It's with that economy of language that people find their way. Martin Luther King said that the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. Everyone at Homeboy stands with the family of George Floyd in Minneapolis. We stand in solidarity because we all know that pain. I've buried 234 human beings killed in our streets for no reason at all. More than 25 of those were killed by law enforcement. No one at Homeboy is unfamiliar with this pain, this dislocation, this grief that feels so insurmountable. We know this pain. But at Homeboy, we know another thing as well, that if we don't transform our pain, we will inflict it. If we don't transform our pain, we will transmit it. And we don't want to do that. What we want to do is stand in the right place, anchored, centered, in peace. We want to continue to take things seriously that we always have: inclusion, nonviolence, unconditional loving kindness, and compassionate acceptance. We don't want to demonize in order to end demonizing. We know it doesn't work that way. I was thinking some years ago, I was called to testify at the federal building for a homie named David, who I didn't know that well. I had met him in detention facilities, but he had finished a 10-year stretch in prison, and now they wanted to deport him, not to Mexico, not to Central America, but to Uzbekistan. Apparently, he had come here when he was 11 years old. He traveled with his mother, and they settled in some East Side neighborhood, and soon he got into a Latino gang. And now they wanted to deport him back to Uzbekistan. Long story short, I testified, and he was freed, and he came to work at Homeboy for a time. But on that day, when I walked home, I ran into Louis, and I knew that this guy was from his barrio, and I said, "Hey, do you know this guy David?" And he said, "Oh, that's my dog right there, and I love that guy. We call him Russian Boy." And then Louis said, "Check this out. The two of us, we were cellies at county jail. And every night, he would go out to the hallway, and on the payphone, he talked to his mom in Russian." Damn, G. He spoke the whole language. Well, that was Louis's way of saying David was fluent. At Homeboy, we want to speak the whole language. We want to stand with people no one else will. We want to widen the circle of compassion so that everyone is standing within the circle. We want to dismantle the barriers that exclude. We want to do our part to remind people of those who are left out and left behind and ignored. We want to do our part to improve policing so that it respects the dignity of all human beings. We want to do what we can at Homeboy to somehow address systemic racist structures in our society that keep us all down and keep us from the community of kinship that God imagines. The beloved community is what we're about, and we always have been for 32 years. Now is not the time to abandon our principles and our values. Now is not the time to cease to take seriously what Jesus took seriously. We don't have enemies because we know our God doesn't have any. We will not demonize anybody because it is untruthful. It is the opposite of who we are. And so it is true that the arc of the moral universe is really long, but truly it bends to justice. I invite you in the Homeboy community to speak the whole language of love and equity, of compassion and tenderness. And we will not fail if we do that. Love you.